Alright, so we have learned how to write rational exponents as radicals, so now we need to learn how to simplify them. Your steps for simplifying: first you need to write it as a radical. Step 2, if you have a exponent on the inside, you want to write out each part. So if it's 2x to the third power, and this is inside the radical, you want to write it out as 2x 3 times. So then you want to circle your pairs or triplets depending on the index. So for this example, if we had an index of 2, we just had a square root, we would circle these two 2x's and put them on the outside of your radical sign. And then we would use a factor tree to break down the remaining factor that's inside. And then you take that just like we did every other problem. If you were looking for pairs, you take your pairs on the outside and multiply by what's already out there. So for example, we have 32 to the 1/2. Okay? So we need to write that as a radical first. So the bottom number stands for the index, the top number stands for the exponent. In this problem, my index is 2, my base is 32, and my exponent is 1. Alright, so I only have one of the 32, so I don't need to write anything else out. I just need to break down 32 just like we normally would. Right, 32 is 16 and 2. 16 is 4 and 4. Bring down the 2. You could stop right there because you have a pair and you can't break down 2 anymore. Pairs go on the outside, so it'd be 4 radical 2. And same thing for number 2. 64x is our base. The bottom number tells us that it is a square root. The index is 2. The exponent is 1. So really we're looking for the square root of 64. X. Right. 64 breaks down to 8 and 8. That's all the farther you need to go. So 8's go on the outside. You still have that x left over on the inside. Alright, this next example, number 3. That's where it gets a little different. The bottom number is our index, so we're looking for pairs. And the top number stands for the exponent. So for our first step, we wrote it as a radical. Second step, we need to write out this index. So this number 3 tells me I need to write out x to the 4th 3 times. Okay. Now that I have it written out, look to see if you have any pairs. Since we wrote out x to the 4th 3 times, you look to circle a pair. I have a pair of x to the 4th. You can go ahead and take that on the outside. So I put my radical sign back in. I took these x to the 4th out, but I still have an x to the 4th on the inside. Okay, that needs to be broken down. So what that means is x to the 4th, I have 4 x's. So you look to see, do you have any more pairs? Well, of course I do. I have a pair there and a pair there. So I already have an x to the 4th on the outside. I think I'm bringing out 2 more x's, which would give me a total of 6 x's, so x to the 6th. Alright, so to do the second one, write it as a radical. My index would be 2. I have 24 x to the 5th as my base, and my exponent is 5 on this one. Alright, so first step is to write it out. I'm going to write out 24 x to the 5th 5 times. And one more. I kind of ran out of room here. That's okay. Alright, my index is 2, so I'm looking for pairs. So I have one pair right here. That pair goes on the outside. So on the outside I have 1, 24x to the 5th. I have another pair right here. So that also needs to come out to the outside. Then left inside, I still have 1, 24x to the 5th. I'm not finished yet because you need to break down 24x to the 5th yet. So that means, I'm going to move my screen up so I have some more room to work with. 24 breaks down to 6 and 4. Right? 6 breaks down to 2 and 3. 4 breaks down to 2 and 2. And then x to the 5th means I have 5 x's. So now I'm looking for pairs because my index was 2. I have a pair of 2's and 2 pairs of x's. Now I already have all of this on the outside, so I need to bring it down. So I have 24x to the 5th times 24x to the 5th. Then I'm bringing out a 2 more x's. Left on the inside, I have 2, 3, and x. So 2 times 3, x. Alright, then to clean up the outside, I want to do 24 times 24 times 2, which is going to give me a huge number, 1,152. Then I have 5 x's here, 5 x's here, 2 x's here. 5 plus 5 is 10, 10 plus 2 is 12, so it's x to the 12th. On the inside, I can do 2 times 3, which is 6x. Now this seems like a lot more work, but really it's the same thing that you've been doing. Here are a couple you try problems, pause the video, and attempt them. To write it out as an radical, you have the index is 3, 64x to the 9th, the second power. So the second power says I need to write it out 2 times. So it'd be 64x to the 9th and 64x to the 9th. Alright, so this, I don't have any triplets, so I need to break down 64, which is 8 and 8, 4 and 2, then 4 breaks down to 2 and 2, bring down the 2, 4 breaks down to 2 and 2, bring down the 2, and then I have 9 x's. Right, so that is one of the 64x to the 9ths broken down. Okay, we just broke down one of them. I have 2 of them here. So if I break down this 64x to the 9th, I'm going to get this exact same thing. I'm going to get 6 2's and 9 x's. So underneath that, save yourself a lot of time, just write the exact same thing underneath. 6 2's, 9 x's. Right, since my index is a 3, I'm looking for triplets, 3 of the same number. So I have 3 2's, 3 2's, 3 2's, 3 2's. And I have 3 x's, 3 x's, 3 x's. Another pair, or triplets, another triplets, another triplet. So on the entire outside, I took out 1, 2, 3, 4 2's. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And I took out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 x's. And then 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 16x to the 6th. So 8x to the 6th raised to the 1/3 power. To set up as a radical, your index would be 3. You would have 8x to the 6th to the 1st power. The exponent is 1, so you do not need to write out any more. You need to break down 8, which is 4 and 2, 2, which is 2 and 2, and 2. And I have 6 x's. Okay. My index is 3, so that means I want triplets. So I circled a 2 and 2 x's. I have nothing left over, so I have no radical sign.